From real-life snakes on a plane to monster snakes with huge appetites, here are 14 of the scariest snake pictures explained.
Damn, nature, you scary.
And before getting started, here's a shout out to Chris Ray, who tells us, "I love how your channel is helpful and educational." Hey, we really do appreciate that, Chris. And of course, we are always happy to school our subscribers. So thanks again to you and everyone else for watching. Cheers, mates. Number 14. Matilda's horned viper. One of the world's newest discovered snakes is also one of the world's strangest and scariest looking creatures. The fearsome serpent was found in southwest Tanzania and is named for the 7-year-old daughter of the researcher who found it. Experts say the arboreal animal can grow to around 2 feet or longer, but despite its fierce appearance, it's actually relatively laid back and non-aggressive. Size in perspective. A snake measuring around 4 feet and weighing about a pound doesn't seem all that impressive, right? Well, not until you realize it's not really a snake, but an earthworm. We're including the critter because it's so easily mistaken for a serpent. The worm was found in Ecuador and displays an unusual coloration. Experts noted that while a worm measuring 4 feet long is staggering enough, this species is known to grow as long as 7 feet. Snakes on a plane. And that, of course, was the 2006 movie about reptiles let loose on an aircraft. But a real-life incident occurred when a venomous 5-foot-long green viper managed to drop from overhead lockers where it dangled over the heads of terrified passengers. The Aeromexico flight was given priority landing where animal control handlers took charge of the unticketed reptile. Aside from a skin-crawling experience, no one was harmed, although some did wonder where Samuel L. Jackson was when they needed him. Dinner is served. The Kruger National Park in South Africa has been the site of many confrontations between animals that prove nature can be indeed harsh at times. Well, a battle to the death between a 10-foot python and an impala ended in a victory for the reptile. As you can see in the pictures, the snake's prize included eating the juvenile buck for dinner. The photographer who took these pictures said the python took about 10 minutes to consume its meal. Bad food. At first glance, you'd almost think this is some sort of deep-sea creature. It does kind of resemble a crustacean, but this picture by Don Rowith actually depicts 2 animals. Look closer, and you'll see that it's an Australian western brown snake that has eaten a cane toad. The amphibian's legs are sticking out of the reptile's mouth. Now, this turned out to be a poor choice of food, because cane toads release lethal toxins from the skin, which is just what this critter did when the snake was eating it. Brown snakes strike out. So it was not a good time to be a brown snake in Australia. We just told you about the western brown snake's mishap. Well, it turns out its cousin, the deadly eastern brown snake, fell victim to a huge redback spider near Melbourne. A farmer took pictures of the strange tableau, and you can see how the baby snake has been suspended above the ground in the spider's webbing, while the arachnid is perched on top before descending upon its victim. While the eastern brown snake has venom powerful enough to kill 20 adult humans with a single bite, the redback's venom was powerful enough to subdue the serpent and kill it. Doubleheader. Here's a serpent that really beat the odds. The chances of a 2-headed snake being born are 10,000 to 1. But a 2-headed Honduran milk snake was hatched in the US, and it was albino. When the critter hatched from its egg, experts did a double take. Milk snakes are non-venomous, and contrary to myth, they don't actually suck milk from cows' udders. But they do like lizards, birds, and small mammals. In this case, this one critter will be eating for 2. Fine dining. Now, we don't know if snake was actually on the menu, but that's what was served up when a giant reptile crashed through the ceiling of a restaurant. Video of the incident showed a huge snake falling through the ceiling tiles as horrified patrons looked on. Restaurant staff used metal poles with hooks to pull the snake down to the ground where it was subdued. The video leaves a few questions unanswered, though. It's not known exactly what kind of snake it is, although it appears to be a reticulated python, maybe. They can exceed 20 feet in in length, which is around the size this critter was estimated to be. We're also not completely clear about where the incident took place. Because some of the people can be heard speaking Cantonese, it's thought the restaurant was located in Hong Kong, but others say Malaysia might be a more likely location. Snakes on a train. A real snakes on a train incident occurred on the subways of New York City. An unidentified passenger pulled two enormous pythons out of a bag as another commuter took these pictures. The man played with the snakes, even allowing one to hang from a railing. But through it all, that lady to his right seemed totally unfazed. The guy and his snakes disembarked after 3 stops, so just another day in the Big Apple. Big appetite. In Thailand, a 10-foot python gave a great illustration of the old saying, the eyes were bigger than the stomach. The snake, which was nicknamed Fatty, slithered into a garden at night and devoured 2 prized fighting roosters, which were valued at nearly $500 each. But the greedy reptile's appetite got the better of it. The bird's owner found the python lying in the street, unable to move due to the roosters having become stuck in its throat. After the birds were extracted by animal rescue workers, the snake was released back to the wild, no doubt with a foul taste in its mouth. Titanoconda. Now, Titanoboa is the huge snake that lived around 60 million years ago. It measured an estimated 50 feet long and is still considered the biggest snake that ever existed. But in 2016, stories of an anaconda emerged that would have given Titanoboa some competition for that title. Construction workers in Brazil found the enormous reptile while clearing an area of jungle to build a dam. The animal was estimated at around 33 feet long and 3 feet in diameter and weighing more than 880 pounds. Now, while the snake did not survive, it's unclear if the workers actually killed it. Now, had the creature lived, it likely would have been the world's largest snake. Danger noodle. Now that is a seriously scary long snake, right? This image shows up on Imager as part of a user's request to give snakes alternative names. Nope rope seemed to be a popular choice, although we liked danger noodle better. While we're not 100% sure whether the reptile is real or photoshopped, we did find a photo of a huge white serpent that is real, but looks too big to be real, if you follow all that. It was posted on a blog by Lauren at thereptilezoo.com, and just check out the size of this white reticulated python. These pythons are the longest snakes in the world and can exceed lengths of 20 feet. We couldn't find the exact dimensions of this critter, but the reptile is on display at the Reptile Zoo in Fountain Valley, California. A bitter quill to swallow. As we've seen, snakes are known to take on just about any animal when they're hungry, but this is the first time we've heard of the reptiles taking on a porcupine. And judging from these pictures, it'll be the last time for this snake. A 13-foot rock python was found dead at a game reserve in South Africa after having swallowed a 30-pound porcupine. Experts said the big rodent's quills stabbed the snake's innards while it tried to digest its meal. But whether that's the only cause of death is unclear. The snake was thought to have suffered a fall from a rocky ledge, which may have killed it. Either way, those quills impaling its digestive tract did not do the reptile any favors. And before we get to our number 1 spot, here's a few honorable mentions. In addition to planes and trains, these sneaky snakes like to slither around automobiles as well. In Australia, an 8-foot carpet python decided to hitch a ride on a man's truck as he commuted from Queensland. The driver said the serpent emerged after he stopped for a rest, and he noticed the critter by the vehicle's cabin. The critter was later released back to the wild. And then a 12-foot king cobra was found underneath the hood of a school bus in Bangkok, Thailand. Witnesses say the deadly serpent slithered into the vehicle when it was stopped in a park. 12 students were inside the bus, but no one was harmed, thankfully. Snake handlers arrived later to return the cobra back to its habitat. Now, as if you need more proof that snakes have insatiable appetites, take a look at these pictures. A conservation student in Luluwe, South Africa, and hope I got somewhat close with that name, well, he captured images of a huge python devouring a vervet monkey. The photographer says the reptile was suffocating the primate when they first encountered the gruesome scene. Then the python proceeded to stretch its mouth so wide that its jaws were dislocated as it consumed its prey over the course of several hours. Vervet monkeys can measure around 19 inches long and weigh up to 18 pounds, so this was quite a meal for the reptile to ingest in one go. Later on, the shape of the vervet monkey could be discerned in the python's body as the serpent was too lethargic to move.